last one. We got a couple questions here. Actually, we just have one more. Question 7 it says write the decimal number for 9 and 1/1000ths. All right, so the decimal number again. Thinking about the word and what that would mean. I already know this number is going to have a decimal. It's got 9 wholes and then 1/1000ths. So kind of like the previous one. I'm thinking, all right, I've got to have something to the thousandths place. If it's 9 and 1/1000ths, then I don't have any tenths, I don't have any hundredths, but I do have 1/1000. So this number here, 9 and 1/1000th, would be your final answer. All right, so just kind of looking at these and going over them with you guys. I'm going to try to give help and videos along the way when it's guided practice. So watch over this. If you need to watch over it a couple of times and look at it, that's going to help you for when you get your independent practice that will be for a grade. All right, question 4 says write the number that has 7 hundredths, 8 tens, 4 thousandths, and 3 ones. All right, so this is a little bit tricky because it's out of order. Most of the time, if you were to see a question like this, they would probably put it in the order, the correct order. It's like here you're looking first thing at 7 hundredths, and then it goes to 8 tens. So you kind of have to piece it together. I'm going to start with my whole numbers first. So my whole numbers are going to be my tens and my ones. And so if I'm sitting there looking at that, I'm thinking, okay, well, again, it's kind of like the previous problem or a couple problems ago. If you're dealing with 8 tens, that's the same as 80. And then 3 ones, that's just 3 like in your ones place. So I'm going to start with the number 83. But then it goes on and it says, okay, well, we're going to have some decimal place value because we're dealing with hundredths and we're dealing with thousandths. And so I have to really kind of stop and think, okay, 7 hundredths and then 4 thousandths. They didn't say anything about the tenths place. So I'm going to draw 3 lines here representing my tenths, my hundredths, and my thousandths. And I'm going to kind of think about what number, this would look like. If they're not going to give you any tenths, then you can't skip it. You have to still put a digit there, but you have to think about what digit would go. And in this case, it looks like, if we're only dealing with thousandths and hundredths, then we're going to put a 0 for the tenths place. We have to have something there to hold that place. A 0 is going to hold that place, but it's not going to have any value. And so from there, we could write 7 hundredths, which would be the next digit, and then 4 thousandths, and then we can kind of put it together and think, okay, well, now the complete number that I see here is 83 and 74 thousandths. And again, it would be thousandths because you have 3 places to the right of the decimal. All right, question 5. Write the decimal number for 5 and 2 hundredths. All right, so this would be, again, thinking about how you would write numbers correctly. I know last year in 4th, you definitely should have learned if you see the word and, that's in place of your decimal. So I already know this number is going to have a decimal, so I'm going to go ahead and put it. And it says 5 and, so you're not dealing with a big whole number here. It's just 5. And then it says 5 and 2 hundredths. So again, kind of like the previous problem, I'm going to think, all right, how many place values should it have? It should only have 2. Shouldn't have 3 because we're not dealing with thousandths. So really this would be more of a 4th grade number. So 5 and 2 hundredths would look like 5 decimal. I can't really put anything there except for a 0 in the tenths. And then 2 hundredths would complete it as 5 and 2 hundredths. Almost looks like money there. That's almost like $5.02. All right, and then the last one says write the number that has 6 tens and 3 thousandths. All right, so again, you're thinking about what that means. 6 tens. 6 tens is the same as 60. And then 3 thousandths means, all right, I've got to have 3 decimal places but I only have 3 thousandths. And so I'm really thinking about, all right, and there's no tenths, there's no hundredths. I've got to put zeros in, but if I have 3 thousandths, it's going to go all the way to the end. All right. All right, guys, I'm going to go over some of the questions that you have today on Canvas for your guided practice. So I think it would be really good for you to try these maybe on your own in the future, and then look back over this video and make sure that you're doing them right. So we're going to go over these real quick. I think there's 7 questions. So the first question says, what is the place value of the 5 in the number above? And so from the notes that you watched today, or the videos that you watched, the notes that you were looking at, the 5 is the last place that we're going to be dealing with as 5th graders. And so basically when you look at a number like this, you're thinking, okay, well, that 5's all the way to the right. It's not the tenths or the hundredths that you would have learned last year, but it would be in the thousandths place. So they just want to know, what is the place value of the 5 and the number above? Well, the place value would be, it's in the thousandths place. And you could actually take it a step further, and you could think it is worth 5 thousandths. So in this box here, I'm going to write thousandths. And as far as getting the answer and getting the right answer, I think that would be the best thing that you could go with, because that's what they're asking. They're not asking specifically for the place or specifically for the value. They're saying the place value together. And so I think you would be doing pretty good there just to say it's in the thousandths place. Question 2, it says write the number that has 5 tens, 9 ones, 4 tenths, 5 hundredths, and 7 thousandths. And so there's a couple of different ways you could put this together. First off, you could break it apart. You could think about your whole number that you would be creating here. So I'm going to circle the part that would be the whole number, and it's giving you 5 tens and 9 ones. So right there, that makes me feel like that it would be the whole number 59, because if you had 5 tens, that'd be 50, and then 9 ones would of course just be an extra 9. And then you start getting into your decimal place value. So I'm going to put a decimal here, and it's pretty straightforward. 4 tenths, 5 hundredths, 7 thousandths, 4 tenths, 5 hundredths, 7 thousandths. You would have the final number of 59 and 457 thousandths. That's how you would read that number. All right, let's see here. Let's see if I can scroll down here a little bit. Okay. The next question says, what number is the thousandths place in the number 9 and 876 thousandths? And so again, going back to what we need to know as 5th graders, that's that last place value. So I'm going to underline it, and they want to know what number. Well, that's pretty simple. If we're just looking for a digit or a number there, that's going to be the number 6. So number 6 would go in that box for the correct answer. All right, let's keep going.